My name is Aminah. I am a daughter, a sister, and a proud member of my community. I live in a small village nestled amidst rolling hills and vibrant fields. This place is not just my home, it is the heart of my existence, where every corner holds a memory and every path tells a story. Our days are filled with the warmth of the sun and the laughter of children playing under the shade of ancient baobab trees. These trees, with their wide trunks and sprawling branches, are like guardians of our village, witnessing generations grow and thrive. Family is everything to us. It is the foundation upon which our lives are built, the source of our strength and resilience. We share stories, laughter, and the fruits of our labor. Each meal is a celebration, a testament to our hard work and the love we pour into everything we do. Tradition is the thread that binds us, passed down through generations like precious heirlooms. Our elders are the keepers of our history, their wisdom guiding us through life's challenges. Life here is simple, but it is beautiful. The simplicity of our daily routines brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that is hard to find elsewhere. We find joy in the smallest of things: a child's laughter, a shared meal, the beauty of a sunset. These are the moments that fill our hearts with happiness. The sunrise painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson is a daily reminder of the beauty and promise of a new day. It is a sight that never fails to inspire awe and gratitude. The rhythmic beat of drums during our village celebrations is the heartbeat of our community. It brings us together, uniting us in joy and celebration. The comforting aroma of freshly baked bread wafting from our homes is a symbol of warmth and hospitality. It is a scent that welcomes you, making you feel at home. It is a life I cherish, a life filled with love and a deep connection to our land and our people. Every day is a gift, and I am grateful for the blessings that surround me. Our community thrives on the spirit of togetherness. We are a family, bound by love and mutual respect. We work side by side, sharing the burdens and celebrating the triumphs. Our collective efforts make us stronger, and our shared successes bring us closer. When the sun sets, we gather around crackling fires, the stars twinkling above us like celestial guardians. These gatherings are moments of reflection, where stories are told and dreams are shared. It is in these moments, surrounded by the people I love, that I feel most alive, most grateful for the life I have been blessed with. The warmth of the fire and the closeness of family create a sense of belonging that is unparalleled. The rhythm of our lives is deeply connected to the land. The earth provides for us, and in return we nurture it with care and respect. We plant and harvest together, our hands working in unison, our hearts filled with gratitude for the earth's bounty. Each harvest is a celebration of life and sustenance. The values of respect, kindness, and unity are instilled in us from a young age. These principles guide our actions and shape our community. They are the pillars upon which our community stands strong, weathering every storm together. In times of hardship, we lean on each other, finding strength in our unity and resilience. Marriage in our village is a joyous occasion. It is a union not just between two individuals, but between two families. When I married my husband, Musa, it was a celebration that echoed through the entire village. We danced under the moonlight, our hearts brimming with hope and dreams for the future. Like every young couple in our village, we yearned for the pitter-patter of little feet. The thought of holding our own child, of nurturing and guiding a new life, filled us with a quiet anticipation. Children are considered a blessing, a gift from the ancestors, and a testament to the continuity of life. Musa and I would spend hours talking about the family we would build. We imagined our children running through the fields, their laughter echoing through the air. We envisioned ourselves teaching them our traditions, sharing with them the wisdom passed down through generations. The desire to create a family of our own was a dream we both held close to our hearts. Every month, I would wait with bated breath, hoping for the sign that I, too, would experience the joy of motherhood. My sisters, my friends, they all seemed to embrace motherhood with such ease. Their bellies swelled with life, and their faces glowed with a radiant joy that I longed to share. Months turned into a year, then 2, then 3. The seasons changed, each one bringing with it a new hope that was quickly dashed. The rains came and went, the sun rose and set, but the one thing I longed for remained elusive. The pitter-patter of little feet that I so yearned for remained a distant dream. I would watch the children playing outside, their laughter echoing through the village, and my heart would ache with a longing that words could not express. The empty cradle in our home became a symbol of my unfulfilled dreams, a constant reminder of what was missing. A heavy silence descended upon our home, a silence pregnant with unspoken expectations and a growing sense of unease. The once lively conversations and laughter were replaced by a quiet that seemed to grow louder with each passing day. It was as if the walls themselves were closing in, suffocating me with the weight of what was left unsaid. The whispers started subtly, like the rustle of dry leaves in the wind. At first they were just murmurs, barely audible, but they carried a weight that was impossible to ignore. They spoke of my failure, my inability to fulfill my role as a mother, and they cut deeper than any knife. At first, they were easy to ignore, to dismiss as mere concern from well-meaning relatives. But as the months turned into years, the concern turned into something more insidious. The looks of pity and the subtle expressions of disappointment became harder to bear. But as time wore on, the whispers grew louder, more persistent. They seemed to follow me everywhere I went, swirling around me like a relentless wind. It was as if the entire village was watching, waiting for me to fulfill the expectations that had been placed upon me. They seemed to follow me everywhere I went, swirling around me like a relentless wind. No matter where I turned, I could not escape the feeling of being watched, of being judged. The weight of their expectations pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe. I could feel the weight of their gazes, the unspoken questions in their eyes. Each glance felt like a dagger, piercing through my already fragile sense of self-worth. The questions they did not ask out loud were the ones that hurt the most. My own happiness, my own sense of self-worth, began to dwindle with each passing moon. The joy that I once found in the simple things began to fade, replaced by a deep sense of sorrow and inadequacy. The moonlight, which once brought me comfort, now only served to highlight the emptiness I felt inside. My mother-in-law, once a source of warmth and guidance, became distant, her demeanor cold and unforgiving. Her eyes, which once looked at me with kindness, now held a hardness that I could not understand. It was as if she blamed me for something that was beyond my control. Her words, once filled with kindness, now dripped with veiled accusations and thinly disguised blame. Each conversation became a minefield, with every word carefully chosen to avoid triggering her disapproval. The warmth that once filled our interactions was replaced by a coldness that chilled me to the bone. The joy that had once filled our home seemed to evaporate, replaced by a suffocating tension that hung heavy in the air. The laughter and love that once defined our family were replaced by silence and unspoken resentment. It was as if a dark cloud had settled over our home, casting a shadow over everything. I found myself withdrawing from the very community that had always embraced me. The village that once felt like a second home now felt like a prison, with every corner holding a reminder of my perceived failure. I began to isolate myself, avoiding gatherings and celebrations, finding solace only in my own company. The laughter of children, once a source of joy, now felt like a sharp pang in my heart. Each giggle and shout was a reminder of what I did not have, of the dreams that remained unfulfilled. Watching them play, I felt a deep sense of loss, a mourning for the life I had imagined but could not attain. The weight of my perceived failure pressed down on me, threatening to crush my spirit. Each day became a battle to hold on to hope, to believe that things could change. But as the years went by, that hope grew dimmer, overshadowed by the relentless pressure of unspoken expectations and the burden of my own disappointment. The inability to conceive cut deep, leaving an unhealed wound in my heart. It was a pain that words could scarcely describe, a sorrow that seemed to seep into every corner of my existence. Each day, I woke up with a heavy heart, the weight of my unfulfilled dreams pressing down on me. I felt like a failure, a barren tree in a forest teeming with life. Everywhere I looked, I saw the vibrancy of creation, the miracle of new beginnings, and yet I stood there, empty and desolate. The beauty of nature, once a source of solace, now seemed to mock my barrenness. The whispers and judgments of others chipped away at my self-esteem, leaving me feeling broken and alone. It was as if every glance, every hushed conversation, was a reminder of my perceived failure. The community that once embraced me now seemed to turn its back, casting shadows of doubt and blame. My days were filled with a dull ache, a constant reminder of what I couldn't give. The emptiness echoed in the silence of my home, a stark contrast to the lively chatter and laughter that filled the homes of others. I found myself retreating into solitude, avoiding gatherings where the presence of children would only deepen my sorrow. The laughter of children playing, once a source of joy, now felt like a sharp pang in my heart. Their innocent giggles and carefree games were a painful reminder of the life I longed to nurture, but couldn't. I would watch from a distance, my heart aching with a longing that seemed to have no end. My relationship with Musa, once a beacon of love and support, began to strain under the weight of our unspoken grief. The bond we shared, which had once been our greatest strength, now seemed fragile and tenuous. We were both lost in our own pain, unable to find the words to comfort each other. We were both hurting, both grappling with a sense of loss and disappointment that we didn't know how to share with each other. The silence between us grew, filled with unspoken fears and unexpressed sorrow. It was as if we were drifting apart, each of us isolated in our own world of pain. The once easy banter and shared dreams were replaced by a strained silence, a chasm of unspoken pain that seemed to grow wider with each passing day. Our home, once filled with laughter and love, now felt cold and distant. The dreams we had built together seemed to crumble, leaving us with nothing but the remnants of our shattered hopes. The pressure to conceive, to fulfill my perceived duty as a woman, became an unbearable burden. It was a weight that I carried with me everywhere, a constant reminder of my supposed inadequacy. The expectations of society, the unspoken demands of my family, all seemed to converge on me, suffocating me with their intensity. My mother-in-law, convinced that I was somehow to blame, subjected me to a relentless barrage of traditional remedies and rituals. Each one was a painful reminder of my perceived failure, a constant assault on my already fragile sense of self. The rituals, meant to heal, only deepened my wounds, leaving me feeling more broken than before. Each one felt like a tiny pinprick to my already wounded soul, a constant reminder of my perceived inadequacy. The remedies, the chants, the rituals all seemed to blur into a haze of pain and humiliation. I felt like a puppet, my strings pulled by the expectations and judgments of others. I felt trapped, suffocating under the weight of societal expectations and the crushing disappointment of my own body. It was as if I was caught in a web, each strand tightening around me, leaving me with no escape. The walls of my world seemed to close in, leaving me with a sense of despair that I couldn't shake. The vibrant, hopeful young woman I once was seemed lost, replaced by a shadow of my former self, haunted by the fear that I would forever be defined by my inability to conceive. I would look at old photographs, trying to remember the person I used to be, but all I saw was a stranger, a woman consumed by sorrow and regret. The mirror reflected a face etched with pain, eyes that had lost their sparkle, and a heart that had forgotten how to hope.